Hello, it is Logano. I'm here to explain how I personally build layers. Because people ask me or I give feedback, and it's usually about the same feedback of like, hey, you should do this, you should do that. And I've been procrastinating making a full blown guide. So here it is. I only have a couple main points and then I might ramble. Um, This is totally ad lib, no script, so excuse the pauses. But first point, haha, objective point, that we're gonna do is talk about mid caps and cap distances. So this is what I think about when I'm building a layer. First I go, where is a mid cap, or where do I want the center of the map to be? And like good examples are like this area over here. This area over here seems like a fun mid cap that I'd like to play. And then the town. And there's actually not a town mid cap, like where you fight over the town in the center. So I'm like, I kind of want to make a layer. So I'm going to like put these mains kind of in between, but they might move. And then I'm just going to make an AS layer for time 5 cap, but pretend these are caps and not nodes, but like boom, and then boom, here's my layer. And that is how I generally start. That is how I generally start, like making an idea of like, oh, this is how my layers. And then I look at the distances. This is a tiny layer, so the distances are fine. 200 meters, 200, 230, 270, fine, whatever. That breaks down like on bigger maps, and you have to work through that. I guess good. Here, let me look at my notes. I guess we could look at a bad example of like this is a good layer. Well, this is almost a good layer with good mid caps, but then we have huge jumps off of the mid caps, and it makes it hard to stage. And so I guess I'm gonna just start into the second point of the second and third point are just I have to talk about together probably. RAS and AS layers should have a flow within 600 meters. I think that is the thing. Because say if this team, the south team, pulls up and they get a hab down here, blah, blah, blah. They get a hab down here. They get a bunch of rallies. Like they are in this Shazam. And then they drop, let's just say they're so confident. And they drop a second hab. And like, don't rip me apart for the hab placements, guys. But like, okay, so here, and they just have infantry like all over the place. And they're going to have infantry on every little thing. Now, the blue team on south has all this map control. They have this huge map control here. But they have like nothing to do with it now because it's not like adjacent to an objective. And they have to either go up and attack and establish new map control, or the red team has to somehow like break in to one of these spots and like not get totally hosed, because like what's gonna happen is they're gonna break in here and then the whole team that's bored and not doing anything breaks in and like just smushes. And usually in pubs, if you were to like attack all three of these places, you wouldn't attack them all at the same time, and so they get picked off one by one. So actually that makes me want to just build the same exact layer, but like how can we make it better, or like how can we achieve flow? And And so another point, RAS and AS layers can. I didn't use the word should because it's not always the case, but can / should. There you go. Should flow to how it's played in comp. And I just say play in comp, like what's the meta way of taking the layer? And so before we make this layer, I guess, we can talk about, okay, here's Narva ASV1. This layer plays very well into how competitive teams play this layer. The South team usually sets a radio here. The North team usually sets a radio and hab here. And then the lanes are usually something like, lanes are like areas that you push, are usually, there's this lane here, and I can totally get corrected and ripped apart by comp players when they watch it, so please do. I think it's kind of like this. This might be a little too big even. And then there's like kind of a lane here. And the last lane is, there's usually, I think, somebody plays up here-ish. Like usually just in that space there. And then maybe there's another flank at the bottom with like 3 people. But usually it plays like this. And this is great because if we look, how you play this layer flows in the direction of where the objectives go. Oopsies. So like generally the lanes go from right to left and the caps kind of follow through with that. And that makes it easier for new players. New players can be doing the right things, but by accident. And of course, this doesn't happen in every game, but this makes it so that one team, if they're in a winning position and they're doing good, they just keep pushing on. And then the game keeps progressing, people keep shooting, and it kind of turns into a role by putting the caps. Like, it's easy to convert a good train control into good Geneva control into good church control-ish, because church is just so far away. And that's easy to convert, and I like that, and I rather have the default position be that stronger teams attack rather than, we're hung up on here. And no, actually, we're the better team, but we don't have that many tickets to take shipping, and it just doesn't make sense. And so we're just never gonna go shipping. It's just not gonna happen. We're just gonna stomp rallies for the rest of the game until the other team runs out of tickets. And I don't know if they're even on a bleed on this layer because it's not Koth. And also, this is a 6-point AS layer, which I realized like yesterday that this is like the only one that it is. And so now looking at the Narva, and okay, then how is this layer, like how does it kind of flow? And I don't play this layer too terribly much, so you're gonna have to rip me a new one. But I did play the one RAS v4 or 5. I think it was 5 at one point in time. And I think it kind of played like this. I feel like this is like a lane, kind of. Oof. And yeah, I can be kind of close, but not totally correct. This is a lane. Does this kind of go up? No. Maybe this is all one lane, and you could argue that this kind of gets cut in half. That is acceptable. And then there's like a flank lane down here, and then there's like flank lanes up here, and that's just how, and that's how this center area kind of plays. And so notice how it kind of plays I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use this awful purple. It kind of wants to go like this. And if you look at the caps, the caps do not reflect how this layer flows, if you will. And so now if we go here, let's do the same mid caps. So hilltop, bunker. Oh, well, this is not even the right amount of points, so it's okay. We will do 6 points as well, just to be consistent. So what is this? Neva upper, hilltop bunker. I think that's just center, hilltop bunker, Neva upper. Okay, so knowing that, well, we should probably put a point here, and then we should probably put a point here. And then if it's flowing like this kind of 35-ish degree angle, we would want to put this, the one layer puts it down like this. That kind of breaks the flow. There's not too much going on here. We could place it here. This is more fine. I wish there was a POI right here, like just put a house here. But anyways, we would do something like this, where like this would, this cap breaks my rule, and this isn't ideal, but this is better flow than this being all the way up in shipping. Like, I think everybody can agree that like having a point up in shipping, less good. Having a point right here, more good. I don't really know where to put this guy. Maybe we put, no, that is way too close, but this would be stupid, because if you take hilltop, you pretty much take this shed here. We could do that, and this would actually, oh, this would actually almost be like the other layer, except for the main is literally here, which I would just prefer, but yeah, so that is pretty much how Racenaeus layer should flow. Should flow like it does here. They should have flow within 600 meters, like not like too far away. This is like just on the edge, and yeah, this 600 feels pretty good. This distance makes sense. And thinking about mid-cap and mid-caps, and these are good mid-caps. An example of like a map that doesn't have good mid-caps is here. Is that like this layer, Neva lower, moi, chef's kiss. So like mid-caps being like attackable, I guess. Like, so let's say red team is here and they have a hab here. You can get a rally. You, as the attackers, can, where's my rally point? Have a rally here. You can be rallying here. That's a road crossing. You'll get farmed. This is, you could cross here. This is not great, but you still, but point is like these are all good-ish spots that you can break into like kind of this like red map control bubble, and there's other permeable / habable areas. So blue team can establish themselves here. They could establish up here. You can maybe establish yourself here, maybe here. You can do it here. You can get something going here. But point is, like, there is spaces. Desna, usually people be Trump. Desnia, I'd kind of draw like the map control effective area is like kind of like this. Maybe even like a little bit bigger, but I think it's harder to like sneak up and set a rally like here and here, because you're just so, you'll get collapsed pretty easily. You can't really set up here because you'll just get blasted from this road crossing is super big. This is not good trees either. Lumber, same story, even worse even. I think you can, this area is okay, but again, huge crossing. This area is okay, but again, huge crossing. This is here, but you just get farmed by this road. That road just kills you. Same thing over here. This road kills you. Open area. Open area, open area. And it's like, this is okay, but you just get farmed. So it's just like lumber. You sit on lumber and you put a hab in this building, and then your hab gets proxied by this hill. And that's how it goes. It's really hard to control map control. It's really hard to keep, or it's really hard to take it. It's really hard to keep it. It's just not, it's got no flow, man. Like it doesn't flow anywhere. She don't got the flow. Akim Central is a little better, but because you can set up in this barn, in these woods. I'd say like the map control sphere of influence is here. I feel like it's pretty small. It's pretty much like that. Oh my gosh, I opened a new tab. Did I just delete that tab? Sure did. Tab's gone. Okay, but anyways, you get the point. Mid caps, cap distances. Ras and AS layers should have flow within 600. Ras and layers should flow and how it's played lane wise. So yeah, there you go. That's my app session. Ooh, 16 minutes. Nice.